Good evening, Tiger Sports fans, and welcome to the second episode of Tiger Sports Nation. I'm Taylor Richardson.
I'm Jack Crane.
And we are joined here by Evan Mangus here today, and we're going to be first discussing DePauw football's opening loss against Division I Butler. And Evan, you're on the football team, and you kind of got your own kind of experience from it from the sideline. I overall thought that it was a pretty well-played game by DePauw, just kind of considering you're playing against D1 talent. And it was overall just I'd say a decent game when you guys could rush for so many yards, and you kind of kept it close for a decent part of the game. But then at the end of the day, Butler's Division I, we're Division III. But then what were your thoughts on the game?
Yeah, I mean, I thought, like you said, we held our own at the beginning. We got off to a little bit of a slow start, but we really showed, especially in the second half, we really showed the embodiment of the phrase "DePauw never quits." We kept playing till the last whistle. Even when we sent our number twos in toward the end, we still our offense kept playing, our defense kept playing. We saw some, especially in the second half, some great rushing by our offense, and our defense continued to fight down in the trenches and just continue to battle throughout the whole game.
Yeah, and once again, you guys almost rushed for 200 yards on a Division I program. That is something to be impressed about. So then, Jack, what were your overall thoughts about the game, and what do you see DePauw possibly building from this going ahead?
Well, I think Evan kind of, put it very frankly, DePauw never quits, and that's clearly what we saw Saturday evening. The talent, it was kind of, you could see it, there was a bit of a differentiation between D3 talent and D1 talent, but, the Tigers went out there, they gave it their all, they truly did not quit, and they held their own. We nearly matched them in passing yards, and yes, they had more rushing yards on us, but again, Division I program. I guess one person I do want to shout out who had an excellent game, number 20, Gus Bumgardner, with a 52-yard rush towards the end in the end of the fourth quarter. Absolutely dropped someone on Butler's sidelines to finish it off. That's going to be an impact player. He's going to be making more plays for the Tigers as the years roll on. Definitely someone to look out for. I'm excited for next week, man. Tigers are hungry, that's for sure.
Absolutely. So then just kind of moving on, you guys want to give your brief just predictions against the game for Kenyon this Saturday? Like, it's going to be the Nick Morosis game, kind of homecoming parents weekend for everyone. What are our predictions so far? Kenyon got beat pretty bad last week. Do you think DePauw's is going to come out and get the dub?
Well, I know Parents Weekend, the atmosphere is going to be electric. You're going to have a full stands of parents, current students, and alums there to celebrate and cheer on the Tigers. Kenyon, 0-2. They just came off a 7-49 loss against Worcester. Given what happened to the Tigers last weekend, they're hungry, and they're looking for victory. So I'm fully expecting a Tiger victory this Saturday. I can't wait to be there. Can't wait to see it with everyone. Go Tigers.
All right, what about you, Evan? Final prediction for the Kenyon game?
I mean, I don't want to go out and say like a prediction or anything, just being on the football team, but I'll definitely say that we're coming out, we're treating this game just like every other game. We're preparing, we're going to work hard, and we're going to be ready come Saturday to take on Kenyon.
Absolutely. So then moving on to men's soccer, we have the undefeated men's soccer team who finished the weekend 5-0 with a win over Ovalette. And it's been a very, very fun start, I'd say, to the season with a lot of shutouts and a lot of good defense and well-played soccer by the Tigers, including by guys like Sam Thiel, who was NCAC Player of the Week last week, and a bunch of other players like Joel Tompkins making good contributions. So then what are your thoughts on the team so far, and what do you see going forward with them, Jack?
Well, Sam Thiel, that's a name that I keep hearing about. It's a guy who I keep seeing pop up on my social media for getting all these NCAC accolades. Tigers are looking good. Boys are rolling. They're really just having a great offensive play right now. Defensively looking great as well. If they can keep the momentum up, I feel like it's going to be a really impactful and a wonderful season for the men's soccer team. So I can't wait to see where their trajectory takes off from there.
Yeah, and I'm extremely excited too. It should be a really, really fun season for them as they are already off to a great start and have a lot of different players making impacts on the game. And a lot of different guys scoring, a lot of different threats, and then already having 4 shutouts to start the season. That is very impressive. And so then now just moving on to the volleyball team, they are off to a good start as well, with going 4-2. They had a little bit of a tough weekend going 1-2 at the NCAC MIAA crossover, but I'd say this is still a very promising team. I've talked with some of the volleyball players like Jenna Perica, who's had a great season so far, one of the leaders of this team, and they're a very young and hungry team, and I think they should be competing for the NCAC championship again this season.
Right. No, with this team, you've got seniors like Jenna Parika and Grace Filburn who are there to, they're there to get their senior season. Myself being a senior, we felt like we've been kind of cheated due to the pandemic out of a full college experience, and that even speaks more, speaks even more for college athletes who missed out on a full season or missed out on having a regular season. Can't wait to see what the Tigers do.
Yeah, I'm very excited too. Upcoming this weekend they have 3 games at Millikan University against Illinois College and at Monmouth, and then against Blackburn as well. I'm expecting 3 dubs from the volleyball team because I think they are going to be kind of brought together as a group, and I think they'll play very, very well. So moving on to our last topic, the women's soccer team got their first win of the season last week against Franklin, a 1-0 victory. They kind of had a tough start to the season, dropping to Hope and losing to Kalamazoo. And then their game against Olivet got canceled. But I think after this recent win, they were going to get back on track, and I think they have a very promising season ahead of them.
No, the trip up to Michigan, I believe, was tough for the team. Hope, Kalamazoo, 2 fairly good programs, and those are tough opponents to go up against. I think after that win against Franklin, I think women's soccer team, only way is up, and can't wait to see what you guys do for the rest of the season.
Yeah, and one thing we have to point out is the Freeman sisters, who had an impact on their win against Franklin. It was Haldy Freeman who slipped through the defense of the Grizzlies and then passed it to her twin sister, Whitney Freeman, who got on the board for DePauw, and that led to their 1-0 win. And now they have some tough road games ahead of them. They have to play at Century, and they got some more tough games going ahead. But I think they have a very promising season ahead of them as well, and I'm looking forward to see what they can do. All right, and then that will conclude it for today's episode of Tiger Sports Nation. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We changed a little bit up this episode with more of a discussion base. And thank you, Evan, for joining us today, too, for talking to us about football. And we're all extremely excited for the season.
Thank you for having me.
All right, and that will wrap up for episode 2. My name is Taylor Richardson.
I'm Jack Crane.
And as always, roll Tigs.